to another episode of the Pointless Discourse podcast, where myself, Hoppocalypse and DPayne.
Oh man, how do I even pronounce this? Dobardan, which is good day in Bosnian.
Talk about things that you guys get to vote on as a community. So since
Ooh,
it
that's
is,
a good tagline. I like that a lot better than anything else we've said.
I wing it every week. I didn't think about this ahead of time.
Put that one on a t-shirt, everybody.
But yes, so it is October, the month of Halloween. We're both very big fans of the season and the holiday, so we thought we made a special straw poll, which all of you were kind enough to participate in, and we're doing it backwards. The most liked is the last talked about, and, well, we did have a spare least like, which did not even make it.
It's the 5th place, not 6th, because someone needs to get punished for not making it.
So our 5th place highest vote was on werewolves, and that is the topic for today. But before we jump into that, announcements.
Yes. So, first things first, if you guys missed the Twitter thing on twitter.com/pointlessdisco, we are finally on Apple Podcasts. And we don't know if it's correlation of us getting on Apple Podcast or us promoting the quiz way harder than we've ever done this week, because it was for a whole month. Man, you guys came out of everywhere to listen to this. So thank you, new listeners and old listeners and half listeners, if whatever you listen to. But we have 2 new countries to add to the mix, Indonesia and Singapore. Thank you for joining the Pointless Discord group of nations, countries, things. Yeah, I should probably also start. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to make a list of that way, because now if we get multiple people listening in a thing, I feel like one of these weeks we'll just have to do a quick run through and just like, okay, in case we missed any of these countries, thank you for listening. Because if we get like someone that listens to 2 or 3 episodes, I think that's automatically going to put them higher in the list than someone who just listened.
Gotcha.
So I guess we're going to have to be responsible and keep a list. How many neat countries are there?
I don't know the answer to that
How
question.
many countries are in world?
Apologies for typing immediately in the beginning of the podcast.
Like, if we just get it out of the way now, we're good. 195 countries are in the world. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're almost there.
Almost.
Almost. Was there anything else I forgot? Oh, yes. So, guys, we are going to be rolling dice a little bit different for this month. So, as Hop mentioned before, it's spooky month, and we are doing spooky things. And so, as many people know, we roll D20s to figure out, because we're big nerds. However, there is a spooky game called Call of Cthulhu, or there's Delta Green, which is pretty much modern day Call of Cthulhu, which I was letting everyone know I've been listening and looking into that, and now I have a new thing I want to get.
Not enough RP systems are there, huh?
No, it's so cool because okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick. So pretty much you're like this secret government organization that's like that just is compromised of a whole bunch of other organizations. So you can be like CIA, Marines, or you can just be like some civilian that knows a lot, and they recruit you into this group called Delta Green. And Delta Green's whole thing is to go and stop like these, I almost said what they're called in Control. They're in Control, they're called paranatural or paranormal, not called paranormal, but it's like paranatural events or something like that. But it's like these supernatural monsters that could end the world, and you have to go stop them or stop them from being spread. And there's a sanity meter, and it's great because like the more sanity you lose, the crazier you go, and it's just great. I want to play it. I'm gonna ask for it for Christmas, and hopefully someone will get me the core rule book. So, but yeah. So we're doing Call of Cthulhu dice rolls, which the big difference when there is you roll percentile dice, which for people who don't know is, well, you might have a D100, which is kind of crazy, or you will have two dice. One is a 1 through 10, and then one is a 1 through 10 just with a 0 behind all the numbers. And you roll them, and you will find out what percentage you get. So that is what we're doing, because that's what you do in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, so instead of rolling up to 20, we're rolling up to 100, basically.
Yes. Oh, and with Call of Cthulhu, or Tulu, whatever, you want a lower number.
Oh, so we'll say winner has lower number?
Winner, yeah. So that's how it works. Because you have, the way the rule systems work in there is the way you built your characters, that your character has different percentiles. And so if you have a 70, it's the higher your understanding, the bigger percentage you have. And you want to beat it. So like if you have like cult knowledge, you will have like, just say you have like 60% cult knowledge of studying for so long. You normally don't get that much. At most, you'll probably get is like 30 or 40%. And so you want to roll your dice under that number.
Gotcha.
And then if you roll like an 8, if you roll like an 11 or 22 or 33, so on, therefore, that's what's considered a critical.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And it goes both ways.
Yep. So lower score wins. So also golf rules.
Yes, that would have been a way easier way to explain it. Okay. I have a middling roll. I
got a 13, which is perfect for the Halloween month.
I got N64. You win.
Okay, and yours was even.
Yes.
So we talk about our favorites first.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll kick it off and say that I have a show that I generally forgot about until I started looking up like wolves and werewolves in media. I don't think I like the character. At least I don't remember the character too well. But I just remember I would always watch a show on ABC Family called Big Wolf on Campus.
I have no clue what that is.
It's basically a really cheesy high school comedy where the quarterback of the football team, who's like a popular guy, I think gets attacked by a werewolf or a wolf and like gains werewolf abilities. And it's just like, I think the early season is him trying to get rid of it, and he happens to be friends with like basically Dib from Invader Zim, but as a teenager, because he's like the goth kid who's into all the paranormals, and you know, they have a whole dynamic. I don't remember anything specific about the character of the show. I just remember I always really liked watching it, and I tried reading up on it, and a lot of the stuff that they provided me was pretty generic, like, hey, he's the big wolf on campus because he's the big dog on campus because he was the popular guy, and now he's a werewolf. So he's the big wolf on campus. But it was very cheesy, very, I want to say early 2000s-ish, 2010, like.
Okay, that would make sense. I didn't watch TV at that. Like that was shortly after, like a couple years after. I'm like, I'm not watching TV. So.
Yeah, and this was basically, it was all live action too. So it's, I realized I explained it and it sounds like it could be a cartoon, but it wasn't.
I thought that was a hit against me. Like, DPayne doesn't watch real people. He watches CGI cartoons, where you wouldn't be wrong. But I do watch real people. I do watch real people. Okay, so is he a sports guy?
Before he becomes a werewolf.
So did people think he was roiding up when he just immediately got wolf abilities?
I don't remember, and I don't recall anything that stood out to me for people like calling him out. I think he spent a lot of the first season, you know, being that whole like double life, you know, I'm a high school kid, but at night I werewolf. Like, I don't remember too many details on it. I have a link to the wiki, but it's, I don't know. It was just the show as a whole. I just remember having a fond memory. Like, I saw the title and I recognized it, and I just thought it was.
I'm looking this up. What was it called again? Big Wolf on Campus?
Yeah.
Big Wolf. Oh, it's the first thing.
I think it only has like 3 seasons or something like that.
This guy's cool looking. I want hair like that. I don't even have enough. That's like Wolverine hair.
Yeah, like it was
Oh,
just.
I see this nerd boy. He just on the first picture. I'll just send you this picture.
Is it the spiked hair nerd boy?
There's more than one?
Well, I just mean like which hairstyle are you looking at? Because all of this, you see what I mean, where it's like early 2000s cheesy.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he belongs in high school. Let's see. Share with. How come you're not like one of these quick share bookmark things on my phone? There you are. Okay, it's gonna be a big long link.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, I like this very mediocre description when you Google it. A high school athlete has been bitten by a werewolf. He fights to save his town. Thanks.
So that could be, like, looking at this picture, this could literally be, like, we really liked Buffy the Vampire, and we kind of liked Angel, but we want this to be Teen Wolf.
It could be. Yeah, like, I don't have any particular...
Oh, I found a real... Okay, I just scrolled over and saw a spiky-haired child with the constipated look on his face.
Yeah.
Okay, this looks like... So, I'm looking at a picture. Oh my goodness. This guy with the spiky hair looks like someone who would file his teeth to be a shark.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a very specific type of person that I've never encountered in my life, and I don't know. Maybe I have encountered one, and I just haven't kept up with them to find out if they have shark teeth.
It's a lower percentage of that person that still wants to be a rapper on SoundCloud, but I don't want to make fun of them too much because we are all, well, I am past the age, and I'm waiting for the memes to come out. It's just like, you think you have it rough? There's still that 30-year-old that's trying to make it on Twitch. It's like, oh. Shut
up. Feels bad.
Oh, is there a girl that turns into wolf?
I don't know if she turns into a wolf. I don't remember what this girl's role is, because it says she's not, like, maybe I only watched, like, the early episodes, because, like, the main actors I see on IMDb have been in, like, 60-ish episodes, and I see a girl is in, like, 40 episodes.
Yeah, because this girl, there's a picture of a girl that looks like she is also transforming, but has the same, like, hair spikes. the hair cheek spikes. But doesn't have a goatee. This obviously is like, we want to show we don't want to change it so much that people don't recognize who the main actor is.
Oh,
but
yeah.
At the same time, we have to show that there's something going on.
He is Wolf now.
Oh man, that guy has contacts in. I also like how in every screenshot I look at this, in the corner it says BBC Kids, and it's just like, man, this doesn't. Oh, I got out of the kids thing now.
Oh, apparently it had 7 seasons. I don't think I watched it for that long. But anyway, yes, this was just a runner-up for me because I just remember the show being generally entertaining to me. But I don't know that him as the werewolf character itself, it was enough for me to be like, him as a werewolf is someone that I think belongs on my list. I think he is just fun.
This looks like one of those shows that you keep that memory and you never, like...
You don't revisit that memory.
Yes. Oh my goodness, is there an article? Hold on. Okay.
I have sent DPayne down a rabbit hole on a runner-up.
It was just one of those gifts that kept going, and then I started reading the ULRs that whatever the links to where the pictures line up, and I think it was a picture of the show, and it was like top 5 sexiest werewolf leads, and I was like, that shows that there wasn't a big pool for this character, for this archetype,
particular type. All right, so I'm looking at my list again, and I wonder if I want to swap at least like who my runner-up is and who my number 1 is. No, I think I'll keep it the same. So my runner-up I wrote is Scott from Monster Prom. I think his last name is Howell, if I remember correctly.
I was figuring I was like, I don't know a lot about this, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be monster prom somewhere in this month.
Yes,
If not every week.
So, I mean, again, I plan on doing this on Wednesdays. I might even do this on a Friday, and I can gather a group of people and we can all voice act and play the game together. But it's just a very fun game, and I enjoy it, especially with a group of people. But Scott, he is basically a golden retriever but werewolf, so it's a very fun way for me to see a werewolf who is not the typical, oh no, I'm tortured, everything hurts, I eat things, but he's pretty much just a puppy, because his traits is he's basically the sweetheart jock that is so nice he'll do anything for his friends. Will it get him in trouble? Is it a terrible idea? Probably yes. But he's just, I guess another way to think of it is basically like Doug from Up. I just met you, but I love you.
Hi there.
I was trying to look up quotes and things. I had trouble easily finding quotes from Scott to kind of give you an idea of his character type, but I also have to give kudos to the internet that they didn't just let secret endings be really visible and easy for me to find. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're not familiar with the Monster Prom and how it works, you can play multiple times, get different plot points, and based on how you react to the plot points, you can get different secret endings. Or you can buy different items and interact with the characters of those items and get different secret endings. And it's like, or you can keep replaying, find new stuff and new ways to interact with the NPCs. So I am grateful that I didn't accidentally find a whole list of secret endings that involve Scott. But some of the arcs I definitely do remember. They basically have a whole Twilight spoof, because there is also a vampire character in the game. And they talk about how they have this book where there's a human in it in love between a vampire and a werewolf. And like in part of it, they ask you, should we cosplay as it? And Scott the werewolf is like, I could go shirtless and we could cover the vampire in glitter. There's another event where he asks you to help him learn how to rule over a group of people, but his description of the people are, he found people in the woods that look like animals but with really big heads, almost like their costumes, and they all keep drawing fan art of me. And you're like, oh, wait, buddy. Wait, those aren't animals. Wait, buddy. Another arc is him and another character find this mysterious book that clearly looks evil, but inside it, they think it's filled with a bunch of pranks. So they're like, maybe if we do all the pranks we see in this book, we can become the ultimate prank masters. So he's like, a lot of his dialogue and everything, he's very sweet. He's very dumb, but he is so wholesome. There was an arc I did while I was on stream that basically involved me. I accidentally got him addicted to drugs, and everyone yelled at me. They're like, no, he's wholesome. How dare you ruin him? He is an angel. He has done nothing wrong. I'm like, oh, poor Scott. Poor little dumb Scott the werewolf.
How long does a normally session of this take?
Probably about 3 hours. I've been able to do it in 3 hours. The usual estimate, I think, when you start up a game, they say maybe 2, but we're streamers.
Yes. I've seen you play it, and I was like, this looks like a fun game. I also just know some of the other characters, what they say, and I'm like, well, someone else will have to do those voices.
Yeah, it's not always safe what you get to say, but it is a very smart and fun and witty game. And I just like him as a character because, I don't know, every time I kept looking up stuff about werewolves, I was like, oh, I remember watching this show on Sci-Fi. What's this werewolf like? He is lamenting his past and is trying to murder his successor to become a human again. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of them. Well, I'm trying to remember. Because I don't want to act. Do you have any other TV show werewolves on your thing?
I have a movie. I have 2 movies. I don't have any other TV shows.
Okay, so if I mention Supernatural, then this isn't going to ruin anything?
No, I didn't really watch Supernatural.
I watched a little bit because I was like, what's this show about? And then I was like, I'll admit, the first 6 seasons are not too bad. However, it's after the first 6 seasons when you realize they only wrote up to season 6 that this show was not supposed to continue. Sorry for any Supernatural fans out there, but Y'all got tricked. Anyway, the werewolves in there are also very weird, and like they, I don't know, they're. I want to hold off how they view vampires for when we do vampires because I think I don't know. It's a little bit like supernatural. Like they twist lore a little bit, and sometimes it becomes a little bit interesting. So I'll
Okay.
say the werewolves, not werewolves. I'll save the vampires for next week because spoilers, guys. That's what y'all voted for. Vampires are next week. um, but yeah, like my only memory of werewolves in Supernatural is it's like in the first season, and it's when younger brother is just getting with grips of, oh, we hunt real monsters now, and to the point where in Supernatural, also if no one's ever really watched the show, um in every season, almost every 5 episodes, one of the brothers like goes and like, that girl's hot, and then it's like, oh, they're doing it now. They're doing it TV rated stuff. And they, in a very early episode, they the younger brother's like, this girl hot, and goes and does this, and then they find out girl werewolf and she's nuts. And they're like, and the older brother's like, you gotta kill her. And he's like, no, I love her. We'll we'll bring her over to our side. And then werewolf just does werewolf things to the point where they have to kill her. And that's all I remember is just like, what was the point of this character?
To have werewolf.
To have werewolf
To
sex.
have werewolf. Specifically.
Yeah, well, she wasn't transformed. But it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, that would have, you know what? The show would have failed at that point because the world was not ready. As much as the world looks back and makes all their like their things of what they ever do today, when Supernatural first came out, you couldn't have you wouldn't be able to do that. Even though it would
Yeah.
probably be safe for TV.
I mean, I did watch the first episode of Black Mirror, and
That's all I watched.
yeah, that's I saw a TikTok where they're like, yeah, Black Mirror is a great show, and they're like, the other person's like, no, it's too weird. They're like, did you start on the episode with the pig? They're like, it's the first episode.
Yes.
What's I gonna start on?
Yeah. Like I do want to watch it, but now I don't really have a way to watch it. But it's
Okay.
like, but I like that was really the only episode I watched, and it was like, I just remember like
They
this
pushed
is a
that
thing.
envelope. They were like, here's the envelope. I'm throwing it
Yeah.
off the table. I'm not holding anything back.
Yeah. But then it's like one of the guys I work with. I don't know how many episodes. If you watched any other episodes,
I think I watched the second one with a bike.
I don't know. I don't know anything
Okay.
else in the first season. Like I watched the first episode, and I was like, that was really weird. But like, it was like I wasn't like I saw what they were going for and everything, and I'm like, it wasn't. I'm like, this is not a terrible show, but I have no desire to watch the second episode.
That's fair. That's how Strider felt when we watched it. But I also said, from what I understood, that it was supposed to be Twilight Zone, but it doesn't feel like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It just feels like they forced the theme. Whereas
Mhm.
I can still go back and rewatch old Twilight Zone, to which I, I sometimes when I'm on work travel, I'll watch Twilight Zone because they have cable in the hotel and I don't have much else to do,
Mhm.
and I was getting ready for work one day, and the quote from the episode that I watched, I loved it. This girl was talking about the idea of multiple timelines, and maybe her timeline got corrupted and somebody else was like taking over her life. And the guy that was clearly like into her was like, that's a little metaphysical for me, ma'am. And I was like, what year did this come out that he just dropped that line? I love Twilight Zone.
So there's another episode of not Black Desert. That's the MMO, the Korean MMO. What's the show called? Black Mirror.
Mhm.
Where they go after VR, and pretty much, in short, there it's like a Mortal Kombat thing, and there's like this guy and his friend tells him like, dude, yeah, like let's do this, and he got it, and they were playing the game, and it's like it's pretty much like you are the character.
Mhm.
And so the guy that his friend is a girl, like one of the girl fighters in there, and they're like, he's like, why'd you choose her? And he's like, I just like I like being like the I'm better with the girl character, whatever. To the point where he keeps going, and it's like they can feel everything. To the point where they go have a Mortal Kombat fight, they all punch each other, and then they just start banging
Hmm.
in the game, and it's just
Hmm.
like to the point where they're like, "Oh, we can't tell what's different." And my my friend's like, "Yeah, man, it was a good episode." I'm like, "What are you watching?"
Hmm.
Like, what are you doing here, guy? I'm like, so that's all I know. That apparently
It gets to that point.
every every episode that someone does somebody else or something. So
I don't think the second episode had. I can't remember now.
I
I
don't
remember
know. Like,
pieces of it.
I also know there's the Star Trek episode where they it just there's nothing. Like, there's just so many things. Like, I don't know. It's like it's one of those shows where I'm like, it's so like the concepts of it are really interesting, but like I have no desire to watch it.
I think it takes a very like grim approach to sci-fi, which I think is
Mhm.
fine, and I think that's what gets people like sucked into it because I think they don't. It's that whole like I never thought about it this way, but it's like did you not actually like read beyond the surface of sci-fi? A lot of actual sci-fi books are like this is evil, this is bad. We will
Yeah.
like Doom the game is like, hey, you could keep searching for power sources, but what if you tap into something that you can't untap into?
Yeah. There's, oh man, there's sci-fi is just a big old cover for all the badness. Unless it's Star Wars, because then it's just we're knights with laser swords.
Yeah, there are definitely different levels of sci-fi where some of it is very like it just looks cool. Like the Jetsons looks cool and is
Hmm.
technically science fiction because we don't have that stuff. But then you read Asimov and you're like everything's falling apart because we built something. So it all
Yeah.
depends. And I
Yeah.
think the way Black Mirror presented itself is trying to do that for people, but even in an even darker visual way.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
see why a lot of people are into it.
So all I know is that it's one of those shows where everyone just wants to do the thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, guys, have fun.
But yeah, sorry. Anyway, much rants. But yes, my runner-up
Yes.
character was Scott from Monster Prom because he's a literal puppy of a person werewolf, and he's gentle and sweet and subverts the usual mold.
We should have like a tangent button.
A nice little beep.
Yeah, or like I know other podcasts they have like the little bell that like you ring, like the desk bell when you're trying to get like service,
Service.
ding. Just like here's the tangent bell. Um, yeah, I don't have any like extra runner-ups. I had a spoilers, everyone. I told Hop yesterday I haven't even started my list. I don't even know where to start, and I finished it probably like 10 minutes before we started the call. So
Oh.
yeah.
So who's your general runner-up character then?
Um, so this character is from a comic, but I haven't read the comic. I know of the comic, but I think a lot of people probably know them better from the Telltale game A Wolf Among Us. The comic is called Fable, and the character is the main character called Bigsby Wolf. Quick background for people who don't know anything about these worlds. This is like the world of fairy tales has grown up or like has aged up to like I don't know exactly what timeline, but it's just like it seems like not 1920s, but it's I don't know if they even had the internet in there, but it's pretty much like it's a crime noir take on a lot of these things. But all these people are like all the people from Fairy Tale like have different things. So um like Bigsby Wolf, like he is known pretty much as like he was a terrorist in back in the day for like attacking the three small pigs, like as the fairy tale is. But now he's like a detective and trying to solve all these crimes in it's called the Homelands. I'm just reading the wiki right now. To where he's gonna like, yeah, so he has like all this dark past, like where people know what he did. But like just also looking at this, like he was married to Snow White, and so Snow White was his wife. I don't know if they're still wife and husband. But yeah, he has like kids and all this stuff. Um, but I don't know. It was just one of those things when I was looking through it, like scrolling down in the wiki, like like that's what I was looking at. I was like, wait a second, is he just like the big bad wolf and doesn't actually have any thing for werewolf stuff? Because I found it in an article, and then I was like, okay, he literally can transform into a wolf, and like he gets like pretty much all your werewolf abilities.
Mm-hmm.
He also has wind powers. Now I'm scrolling through this more because he has his huff and puff.
Yeah, to blow the house down.
Yeah. But it was one of those things that I think it's a really neat character, because from the bits and pieces that I saw from the Telltale series, I want to play this now. I know there's, it says right here 1930s.
Okay.
So it's set in the
Close.
1930s.
Yeah.
Yes. I was 10 years off.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because apparently he's immortal, so like he's just super old and everyone knows it, and like he has all the like it's pretty much like if anyone has read or watched or interacted with like a crime noir.
Yeah, I did play A Wolf Among Us. I really liked it. I was waiting for the second one because I thought it was announced, and then a bunch of stuff happened with the company. Did someone buy them again?
What?
Did someone buy Telltale again? I forget.
I don't know. Yeah. I have thoughts on Telltale, but anyway, that could be a different podcast. So, but yeah, it's one of the things I thought was a really interesting take on it, where, and you might be able to fill in the blanks because, like, I know the bare minimum of this. This is a series I want to read eventually, but like I like the idea of like, I like the story where it's just the villain, like he knows he's a villain, but he's also trying his best to like help people.
Mm-hmm.
But like from what also I saw, he still does his villain stuff. Like I think he just starts beating up a witness in like the video game.
Yeah. So from what, it's been a long time since I played it, but from what I remember, he does very much have that like villain complex to him. It's, I guess, in a D&D way to describe it, it's like if you let your barbarian with all his skill and intimidate go deal with a witness, where he uses like, it's one of those things where
it's Batman.
Well, it's the thing where he knows everyone thinks he's a bad guy, and he's trying to prove that he's not as bad as a guy, but because people keep poking him and provoking him, he's like, you want to see the bad guy? I can be this bad guy that you keep claiming I am. So it is a very fun character, and I completely forgot about him. I guess because when I think of the lore, like you said, the big bad wolf was like, and the fairy tale just seemed like a wolf, but the way they portray him does, like, he's human and can
he
get
has like
more,
a human form, and then he has a wolf form.
Can get more wolf.
Yeah. So it looks like it's more of the screenshots that I saw of Twilight, where they don't become like fur humans, they become actual big old dire wolves pretty much. And that looks like kind of what he does as well.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I'm on the wiki, and there's like a picture and there's a wolf talking. Oh
okay.
Yeah, that looks like it's him. So but yeah, it was oh my goodness, go away ads. It was definitely one of those things that I like. The concept of the character sounds really cool, because as much as it's overdone in anime, the redemption arc is still a cool, if done right, a cool story arc.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like we're not seeing the beginning or the end with Bigsby, but we're right in the middle of his thing. And it's like, as I said, like he's not afraid to use his abilities and all that stuff, but it's like, it also says in here, like, yeah, he's good at interrogation because he's a big angry man, and it's just like he's gonna get people like to say the things. I'll have to see. I'm gonna have to put this on my wish list and see if it goes on sale.
Yeah, I think
Pick it
it's a
up.
very well written Telltale game as well. I did like it a lot.
Um,
I don't know if you played any of the Walking Dead ones.
I played the first season. I want to play all of them as well, but it's just like, okay, guys, ding tangent. Telltale. The one thing I don't like about Telltale games is that they give you the illusion of choice, where you choose something and then it's like 2 or 3 scenes later, it's like, yeah, your choice didn't matter. And it's like, well, then I literally said the opposite thing. Now, what that game?
It depends. For
Like,
me,
yeah.
like
Okay,
there
go
are
ahead.
certain scenes in the early Walking Dead where they have to like force the plot to move along, but there
Yes.
are definitely choices that do change the course of the game.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of misspoke. Where
Yeah.
it's just it seems like certain characters, like you can go and try to bring certain characters, and some will die and some won't, like depending on your choices, and
Mm-hmm.
they will continue. However, like, oh, I can't remember. There was like a very specific one, specific
Is it like
words.
someone said something and you're like, I didn't say that, or
It. Oh man, it's pretty much like I remember. Oh, now I'm trying to remember exactly what it was because it's been a while.
it's
But
fine if you can't. But
yeah, I can't remember.
I can see
But
what you're saying because it the overall story is still happening. So
yes.
sometimes the writing doesn't glue itself perfectly so that everything that you have the main character say still fits
Mm-hmm.
in the stuff.
Yeah. So it's oh, I got two. I got two. You want big follows, no buddies, but you can have big bands. Um. Yeah. So I guess they're gonna come over to you soon. So prepare
Potentially,
yourself.
yeah.
But anyway, it's we're not talking about Telltale. um. But yeah, it's I don't know. I guess like the more I'm like kind of reading through his abilities and powers, it's like what if Batman had werewolf abilities?
He probably
And
does in some arc, right?
oh
Somewhere.
yeah, that I wouldn't
With
doubt it.
yeah, with how many various arcs there are for Batman, I would not be surprised if there was at least one. But
Hmm.
no, yeah, I do like Bigsby as a character, and I completely forgot to put him on this list, but
Yeah.
I don't
So
yeah, I don't think he would have beat out my top two though. He might have been a runner up now that
oh,
I look
I
at it.
I really like my top one because I actually know I had so I did for people who don't know, I mentioned this to Hop. I was trying to not reuse some of the stuff, mainly because we did the vampire werewolf in parentheses debate um kind of recently. And watch, we're gonna look this up. It's gonna be like 15 like 5 episodes ago, or it's gonna be a while, kind of like the childhood movie thing where
Yeah,
we're
we were
just
like,
like
oh yeah, we did that yesterday. Hold on.
it's oh that was like the third episode. um
Oh, it was exactly 5 ago.
uh oh the
Werewolves vs Vampires.
oh wow, I was just guessing. um but yeah, so it's definitely one of those things where I'm trying not to reuse things, but like I almost put the wolf guy up there because I'm like, oh no, I really like this, and then I remembered my okay, I guess that would be my runner up. um Akira Akugami, I think that's his last name. I had to write it down because I don't know how to spell it or pronounce it, but it's Akira. He's half Japanese, half American. Werewolf, which I think was a really interesting take on wereism. What?
Lycanthropy?
Yes, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Of werewolves. Um, Pretty much, if you guys want to read it, I know it's translated wolf guy. I don't know what it's in Japanese, but it's I think it's a really cool take. Because the dude, like, he's been a werewolf for like centuries and centuries, and he's a pacifist. And it's like the whole thing is he doesn't flex his werewolf powers until like they literally drive him to a corner, and then the people around him, because like as I was reading the article, it's pretty much other, like, because he didn't fight back this gang that is attacking him, and he just took all their hits, and like everyone like freaked, and then like a giant wolf showed up and like was just like, what the heck. It got the attention of a local werewolf group, and that's kind of what starts happening and everything. But it's, I don't know, I from what I remember though, he's a very bland like manga character, where he's like, I am devoid of emotion. Oh no, I'm mad.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but the lore and everything of that world, I think, is a lot more interesting
Okay.
than everything else. But yeah, Bigsby Wolf. Don't know a lot about him, but I like the concept. One of these days, I'll learn more, and I might share about them on podcast. Who knows?
Maybe. All right. So then I'll jump into my number one. I did not name a particular werewolf from this group because I don't remember if they named them in the movie. I picked this werewolves and what we do in the shadows.
Me too.
They're just so fun.
I know, they're great.
And I don't think they have too much in the lore other than they're just trying to be the best guys and be better than the vampires.
Yes. There's just, oh man, it cracks me up.
I think we both knew that this was going to be our number one answer.
Oh, I didn't. I was just like, this is the one. It came to my mind yesterday. I can't not talk about them, and they're just the greatest version of vampires, werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great because like I'm just remembering them like they're all walking, and then like the vampire group's walking, and then the werewolves like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they just yell at each other until they leave.
You're kind of like dogs barking at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then did you know the name of the sequel that was planned?
No.
It was gonna be, I believe Taiki said that it's gonna be called Werewolves. Like we are contracted,
I think I've heard. Yeah,
but also like werewolves.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that this was gonna start going into development after he finished Thor Ragnarok, but I don't know what ended up happening. I think he might have decided on the show instead.
Mm-hmm.
But in either case, I would love to watch a movie just about the werewolves because they just seem like, even if you get a chance to watch a TV show, the TV show of What We Do in the Shadows is the same kind of thing where the wolves are trying to like not be as bad as the vampires, but they do have a fight scene, and that's hilarious because of how the vampires win. But it's
spoilers.
But it's that same kind of thing where they're all just like name calling from a distance, but don't actually want to like fight.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys smell bad.
Yeah. Isn't it also like they yell at each other and then they get all close to each other? It's like, so you coming to the party on this? And like, yeah, I'm going to be at the party. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
They're like, fine, I'll see you there. And they just insult each other as they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would be fine. No, I would. Now I want to buy What We Do in the Shadows. I don't even know how much it cost, but it's I would be okay and just laugh my head off if it was the same movie, just from the werewolf's perspective.
And there's that little 2 minutes of like, it's the vampires.
Ignore
them.
What are they doing over there? What the heck? The other I don't know if you ever watched the Flight in the Conchords TV show.
I watched at least the first season. I don't remember if I finished. I forget if it was the second season is the one I didn't finish.
Mm-hmm. I'm forgetting their names, but the guy who's from the band of Flight on the Conchords that's on the vampire
Jermaine
side.
Clement?
Yeah, Jermaine. Their manager is the leader of the werewolf.
Yeah.
Is the leader of the werewolves, and it just cracks me up because I watch them like insult each other and do all that stuff and yell, and then they leave, and then it's like the song "Friends" that they sing where they all just hate each other and Flight of the Conchords is just playing in my head, just like friends laugh together. So
yeah, every time I see that actor, I think to myself, I got you a gig.
Yes. And while he's in the New Zealand tourism office, just taking calls. Oh man,
it's a good show.
Yes, it's a great movie.
It's a good, yes. For anyone that hasn't watched What We Do in the Shadows, it's a fantastic mockumentary. It doesn't like add or change anything to the lore for anything. It just kind of modernizes what they might be doing in today. So it's just they play up a lot of stereotypes and then knock them down real quick.
Yes. Spoilers. They might be showing up next week.
Oh, I can't pick a favorite out of that whole group.
It's probably going to be the same thing. All of them.
All of them, yes. But no, yeah, they're just... It is very highly recommended that you check that out, and as well as the TV show. I'm actually... No. Mine might be a character from the TV show, because I like those characters a lot. Because the pacing of the TV show is the same as the mockumentary, where it's like... It's a little bit slower, so as a show, the build-up is pretty nice. I think it's 3 seasons now, too.
Oh, man. I just know that Mark Hamill's in it.
Yes.
And I saw he posted like a screenshot or a clip from it on Instagram, and it's just like him like just screaming, and I'm like,
so the best thing about that is like him as a vampire is looking for another character, and the two of them are just sitting at the bar. They're like, if you see this guy, you'll tell me, right? And you're like, they have to know that they're talking to each other, right? And then later on, you're like, they act surprised, and we're like, there's no way that they looked at each other and went, you're not the guy I'm looking for. You're both pale guys dressed in like 1800s attire. There's nobody else here.
Do you think that like vampires just probably just see pale as tan?
Maybe.
So they don't know.
They don't know. But no, it's, yeah. Him in the show, his character was very funny. I did like it a lot.
Oh man, is that on any like streaming service?
Hulu. That's where I watch it.
Well, let's hope when one of the people I move in with has a Hulu account that I can just
sit and watch it all.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this werewolves are just a very fun group, and it's, I think for me, it's again the repetition of them subverting the stereotype, where they feel more like people dogs, which sounds weird, but like, you know, like they have the traits of like a dog, but they're not necessarily like all huff puff angry all the time, but Bigsby he's trying to be better. But I feel like a lot of the other werewolves, there's another show I watched on Sci-Fi called Being Human, and I was gonna put that character in there because I kind of liked him because he has some comedy aspects to his werewolf, but his actual background is the same thing where he's absorbed by trying to hunt down a way to remove the curse, and that's a big part of his whole storyline.
I'm seeing if I can find the Wikipedia for the movie. Ooh, excuse me, and get some more information on the werewolves. They're all cool people.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
Oh man, it's been a while since I watched that movie. This Wikipedia doesn't help at all.
Yeah, if I look at the swearwolves, I just get a bunch of like pictures and ads for other stuff to buy that has stuff. What we do in the shadows.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I can find anything just real quick.
Oh wait, this is for the TV show.
Yeah.
TV series. 2014 is when it came out. I didn't realize it was that old.
Oh, okay. I found What We Do in the Shadows funniest. This is the TV show. What We Do in the Shadow of the Werewolves. There we go. This is also the TV show. Oh well, guys, they're cool. Go check them out because we can't find anything. There's an episode called Werewolf Feud in the TV show.
Yes, yeah. There's a whole
That
little
is why.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did find a so-called What We Do in the Shadows wiki, and it says that werewolves appear normal when in human form and are known to transform into humanoid wolves during the full moon.
Ooh, excuse me.
Some werewolves. Oh, okay. Wait. I think this pulls together lore from the TV show and the movie, but they do just talk about how in the show, in the series, they act much like dogs, and even when they're in their human form, and that they don't get along very well together. Like between vampires and werewolves, there's like that animosity. But a lot of this is taken from the TV show, and I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, there's... The thing is, like, What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, from what I remember, it was... Not a lot of people watched it. So... Or, like, enough people watched to get enough excitement about it, but it's just, like, I don't remember hearing a lot of people talk about it.
No, yeah, that's fair. I forget how or why I ended up jumping into it. I think my sister might have mentioned it to me, and her and I have a similar kind of sense of humor, so I thought to check it out. Or Strider saw that Jermaine Clement was in it, so that he wanted to watch it. It was like one of those things where somebody else knew it was going to be funny, and then I watched it.
Yeah, I know why I watched it, because there was someone on YouTube where they were like, here's some good movies, and I'm like, well, I watched these other movies that I liked, so let's watch this one. And so throwback to what was said earlier, back when Netflix had DVDs, I rented the Netflix DVD, and it was funny because that's all I got on Netflix way later, like when they had the streaming online service. But I'm like, and I remember looking, but they don't have these things I want to watch. So I was like, I got the DVD service and started renting DVDs, but like it was included with the online service, to where my roommates at the time were like, why aren't you just using the online service? Like, because they don't have like Life is Pi and What We Do in the Shadows and Ex Machina and all these other movies on there. And they're like, but there's other stuff. And I know.
Yeah. In the beginning days of Netflix, it was very much for the online service. I remember not wanting to get it for a while either, because the early days were very much like movies that you might have wanted to watch, but not enough to have paid for to watch them. So I knew a lot of people that had the online service. They're like, I was never going to pay for a movie ticket for this, and they got the rights to it, so I'll just watch it here and then rent a DVD later of something I actually want.
Yeah.
And to think now Netflix is producing its own series that become pop culture phenomenons. It's times change.
Oh, show. So, yeah. The werewolves in What We Do in the Shadows are cool, and y'all should watch the movie. Wow, that saved. Okay, good. That justified our huge tangent into Black Mirror. So.
All even now. So now to our 2 least favorites.
Yes.
Okay. So my runner-up least favorite, I know I said I didn't want to have, like we talked about how we didn't want to have too much overlap with our other episode, but man, the more I read about the werewolves in Underworld made me like them less and less. Just because it was like, if you've paid attention to anything I like to watch when it comes to anime and things like that, I really hate the trope where something is so strong it cannot fail. And reading through Werewolves as they progress through the Underworld series, it's like they just made them stronger so that they could have an excuse that even though the vampires win, suddenly there is better werewolf, or there is werewolf with better powers we didn't see yet, or suddenly there's secret werewolves with secret abilities to like milk that Hollywood money. Because how can you keep having sequels when it's about a war between werewolves and vampires if the werewolves have always been slaves underneath the vampires? You need to just keep upping the werewolves. And then
they had Wolferoids.
Yeah. It gets to a certain point where reading it, not included in the movie. Like, I loved watching the movies. I found them entertaining and cheesy and fun because it's just big battles between CGI monsters. But reading their abilities compiled together, you're just like, oh, so the vampires had to invent special weapons to kill them, but they've been fighting them for centuries. Huh. If that's the only way they can kill them, if one werewolf can sit and not eat for several decades and then come out of a tomb and eat something and be normal again, what are you supposed to do? What do you do?
Well, to be fair, vampires can do that too in some lore.
In some lore, yeah. They just shrivel up.
Looking at you, Helsing.
And I think Interview with the Vampire, I think, also implies that too.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Hearing that, I'll just suggest don't read any Chinese mangas then, because that's essentially what it is, where it's like, oh man, there's some weak dude, and then oh my gosh, he got some weird thing or came back in time and knows all these secrets and becomes super OP in like three issues.
It just depends for me because I know I've never been a fan of certain game types where you, what was it? I knew someone that really liked a certain game series. When I tried it, I was like, I just have to hit the same button. Like, I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
you lose a fight. And they're like, yeah, isn't it awesome just cutting through everything? It's like, oh, I see the joy now.
Yeah, it sounds like Dynasty Warriors.
It could be. I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah.
head, but
Now, I will say this because if there's people that are regulars of my stuff, there are. No, I'll just say the one because this has come up and we talked about this on my channel. There's about overpowered characters. There's a Korean comic webtoon called I think it's called Solo Leveling. One sec, I'll look it up real quick.
I think I've heard you mention that before.
Yeah, it also deals with that overpowered syndrome a little bit. However, hold on, the thing loads. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, this didn't help. Should be like right there. Where is it? Ah, well then,
Oh,
I
I thought
can't
that was the
find it.
refreshing sound, like after you take a
Oh,
sip of
solo
water.
leveling. Yeah, that's what it's called. Oh
Okay.
yeah, maybe. um, but like this character, like he like pretty much he dies in like a dungeon. Like the whole world is set up. There's dungeons in this world, and people go in. They face some. They go take them, and they can get like artifacts and different things, but they have to stop them because monsters are coming over into our world. Um, this character pretty much dies and then like comes back to life for some reason. I don't think they explained it why. Does he come back to life? Oh no, it's been a while. I'm gonna have to reread the beginning, but pretty much he gains this ability to where his like he pretty much gets like MMOified where he's able to level up and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and he becomes OP very quickly. However, he's not like that super over arrogant like OP character where it's just like I want to kick all your butts, but he's just like I'm gonna protect my family, and he like the whole reason he does it is like his mom I think has some health issue and like they can't pay. I think it was like cancer, and they can't pay for it because they're poor, and then like because of this, he's able to like pretty much well first pay for the treatment, but then finds a way to like help his mom like recover and become like pretty much out of the hospital, and then like help her his pretty much his whole family like be able to like live life, but he just becomes super OP to the point when season one ends. Like you're like, what? How is this character going to like actually ever meet something that would stop him? Or like, yeah, no, he's just OP in human standards because they're like, yeah, they've only been hitting like it's kind of like a little bit of the same thing where you're saying like they've been only hitting like the first level of monsters, but it's like they're kind of going into the background of like where these other monsters are coming from, and then they're like oh wait, there's actually some thought, and there's just like we're just not writing stronger characters to make main character look OP. It's
There's a whole planned progression system. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a few characters where you're just like the main character's gonna win against him because he has to, but it's just like it's also fun because the big bad of the first season like they just they did it very smartly because like the guy didn't even want to go to this giant like monster raid thing because like what happens is they fail to raid to like take out this dungeon and then it took over an island, and
Mm.
it's just like that's why they have to stop these monsters from coming over, and so they're just like we can't do anything in there, and then they pretty much go to send like all these people there and they're like can you go, and he's like no, I'm not going. And they're like, well, what are you going to do? And so then it just shows it and like gets to the point where it's just like he has to go, or like he's like, oh, this looks interesting, and then just goes. And it's just I don't know. It was like one of those things where you're like, the buildup is very very cool, and you're like, oh my gosh.
No, like I don't mean to say that anything
Yes.
OP is boring to me. Like there are ways that it's written well. Like
Yeah.
I do love One Punch Man, but the character itself, while he is OP, he is tortured by the fact he's OP. So his personal struggles, it's more like emotional struggles for Saitama rather than fighting struggles for me that I enjoy watching him trying to like he's so bored of being so strong. But no,
Yeah.
it's that whole I'm strong, therefore I have power, therefore I win fight, therefore next person please. Like that part gets repetitive and boring to me. Like I love Dragon Ball Z and stuff, but some of those villains got so arrogant. You're like, we know you're gonna lose to someone. You fought every other Saiyan so far, so I guess it's Goku's turn.
It's like, hey guys, what's up? Yeah.
If it's
Goku
not
also
Goku, it's Goku's kids. Like,
yeah. Vegeta's not allowed to win, which apparently he did win something recently, and everyone's like, oh my gosh.
Vegeta has an interesting character arc though, from being
Yeah.
a bad guy to
That's a good
a good
redemption.
guy. Yeah.
I think that's a fun redemption arc. Where he's still pissed off at Goku.
But he's settled down, has a kid, and yeah.
Wears pink.
But yeah, like, so yeah, the Werewolves in Underworld, it kind of just, I think they didn't mean to make them sound so OP, but I think to me, it feels like to keep the series going on, they fell into this syndrome where they're like, it's got to be bigger, better, cooler. And then when you actually list everything next to each other, you're like, this isn't even really a werewolf anymore. This is just a creature that happens to be a werewolf that is just given
Something
powers
bad.
repeatedly. Yeah.
It's like, why? It's like, how were they even like beaten?
Yeah, whoever beat them. But then they have I don't know when in the series. I just know the wiki says it's that whole lineage thing. So the closer to the original werewolf and the original vampire, the stronger you are. And I guess that's their excuse. I don't want to say excuse, because if it's in the first movie, then it's, you know, it was a
It could be
precedent.
an excuse, even
It
if
could
it's in
still
the
be an
first.
excuse.
They just finally flaunted it.
But no, I don't have much else to add to them.
Yeah, I never watched the series, so guys, this was the trouble with werewolves. There's not a lot, and then the ones that aren't good.
It's not that there's not a lot. It's just that they're sprinkled. I think that's how I feel. Like you see werewolves in a lot of things, but none of them.
They don't stand out.
Yeah, they either all feel like they fit into one category. You know, the brooding werewolf, or then you get like the crazy werewolves that are basically just wolves that are sometimes human, which is like Underworld, where they spend most of their time as werewolves fighting other people.
Yeah, I don't know. If only there could be a good werewolf game. Cue all the like. That's when we're finally getting our first review, where someone's be like, "There are good werewolf games. I hate this guy." Oh man. Trying to think of the only video. Well, that's not true. I have a video game one next, but the Order 1988 or 1888. They're like, "There's werewolves in this," and I'm like, "There are."
I wanted to play that game until I watched the gameplay and realized
Same here.
it's not a game. Sorry.
So,
It's yeah. From the gameplay that I saw, at least from the beginning gameplay, because I used to watch a lot of Rooster Teeth and the Let's Play, and from what I understood, it was like a movie with quick time events.
yeah, probably. I don't know. I never played it, and I didn't watch anything. Like,
Okay.
I remember seeing like the trailer for it. I'm like, this looks cool, and then when I saw screenshots, I'm like, this looks bland.
Yeah, it was all like
It was
singular
very-
toned and
Very gray and brown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it'd be gray, because back in that time, before they
That
realized,
was what was edgy.
yeah, like you can use colors. It's like, oh, your game either you could tell what time period your game was. If it was old, it was gray. If old and in the city, it was gray. If it was a Call of Duty, it was brown. If it was Fallout, it was green. Oh man, there's like mods that take like the filter off of Fallout, and they're like, this game actually looks really good. Why was the game green? Who
Because
made
of
this decision?
all the nuclear waste, duh.
Does nuclear waste actually glow green, or is that just from cartoons?
I don't know that I've ever seen nuclear waste, so I do not have an answer for you.
All right, look, we're in like 14 countries right now, y'all. Let us see some nuclear waste. We want to. Well, I want to see it.
Are you asking them to invite us to look at nuclear waste?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
A field trip?
Yeah, we can have podcasts right there. Well, like if comics didn't lie to me, that stuff will talk eventually. Sort of like a hamster in there. We'll get Hamtaro.
Oh, I thought you were gonna reference like that Family Guy episode where they try to roll around in it thinking they'll get superpowers.
Uh, no, I did not see that. I'm guessing it didn't go well.
The main family did get powers, but they didn't roll around in it. It was one of those like.
Oh, I think that was like the first Fallout guy.
Wow.
Family Guy episode I saw. Like, it doesn't like a waste truck like just crash in their like.
Yeah, Meg
house?
gets Wolverine's ability,
Yeah, her
but it's
nails
only
just
her
go longer.
nails.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, what are your powers? And he's like, what the heck can you do? And just scratches the dude's face. He's like, ah.
Yeah, but then Adam West is the mayor of the town, and he tries
Yes.
rolling around in the waste, and he just gets. I think they said he gets cancer from it, and that's the end of that arc. And I was like, whoop.
Yeah. Oh man, the Adam West in that. Oh man, we should add best Adam West, just
Adam
like her top.
West rolls.
Yes, because he just plays Adam West. Oh, okay, I'm gonna add it. Hey guys, sorry for more typing.
But no,
We'll forget. Oh, I'll forget.
I was gonna say after you're done typing that, I'd say you can go ahead and jump into your runner-up for werewolves, because, like I said, like I don't want to jump into the whole underworld lore because I did it in the previous episode, but they just.
I don't know if I spelled that word right. Yeah, if you guys want to hear about wow.
Underlord's a video game, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't.
Or
even
no,
know
is
what
that Overlord?
over? Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
Sure. But if you guys want to listen to that, go. It's episode 5 ago.
19? 20?
21? 22? 23? I don't know. What episode are we on now? 19. Here you go. We got it. I realize my last two answers are video game. So, sorry, I just saw it on my profile. I thought you were doing the goblin pose you did earlier. Like,
Oh, no, I'm trying to stretch. I need a new chair.
You're protecting, like, I love my video games. What are you doing? So this might get a few people mad, but I don't care because I kind of forgot these people existed until I was like, I need another bad, and then I was like, oh my goodness, these people are so boring. I forgot about them. And I'm not even gonna do a little intro like I normally do. It's the companions from Skyrim.
Oh, I did not finish Skyrim. I do know there's a lot of like werewolf lore in Skyrim, but I did not get very far in the game.
Yeah. Well, I remember I did this might just be me not liking Skyrim very much. But I remember when I did play it, I did the whole werewolf quest line, and like this is the whole werewolf like time like quest line pretty much is. And sorry, I'm gonna spoil a game that's been like re-released a million times. Is you pretty much like you meet you said you played it. You know those
I
people
played like an hour of it.
Well, you may have gotten there because it's like when you're going to the first town, you find those people that are hunting a giant, and they kill the giant before you get there, and you're like, why didn't you help? I don't know. Depending on how you also get to the first main town, you might have, because I know I missed it the first time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, so like pretty much you leave the town that the dragon explodes, and you go to your. Actually, now thinking about it, might have been a little bit past. You go to Whiterun, and on your way there, there's just these like people, like these three people that just kill a giant, and they're just like, if if you go over to try to help them, they kill the giant before you can even get there, and you're like, wow, why didn't you even help? And you're like, guy, I was coming over. I was across the field. And they're just like, blah, blah, blah. And they say a few things. And then they're like, well, if you want to come in here, come to this place. You go in there, and then, I don't know, you do like a few quests for them. You build trust, and you're like, yo, we're werewolves. Want to be one?
Want to join the pack?
Yeah, that's pretty much like it's on the lines of that, and you're like, I guess why not? You're like, okay, cool. You just gotta gain the trust of our the leader, which is pretty much Werewolf Prime, and he's like, I don't know if you should, but okay. And it's just so you drink the blood of a werewolf, you become a werewolf, and then you're like, yeah, guys, so being a werewolf sucks. So they like just they're like, yeah, you don't die. It's like they like list off all these things, and they're just like, so why didn't you tell me this before that? And they're like, yep, it's a curse. And now the whole quest line is like, hey, let's find a way to get rid of our werewolf powers.
Become part of the pack. Oh, I don't want it. Regret.
Yeah, like and the thing is, and it just might be how I play games where I forget I have an ultimate. I forget that I have this ability that allows me to transform things. I'm very much like, here's my base skills, and I'm just going to learn how to get good with base skills to the point where I can do everything. Like, I remember I was playing a game one time, and someone's like, you have the ability to slow down time. I'm like, I do? And they're like, yeah. And like, people are like, why don't you ever use this? I'm like, one, I forget, but like, actually, it's in Fallout, the VAT system.
Oh, yeah.
I refuse to use it.
You don't want to know the percentages to hit or anything? You're just
why do I need the percentages when I could just do it myself? It's one of those things, like, and it's also because I also play on mouse and keyboard, so like I like my aim better than, well, you might hit it. So I know there's people that I also realize it with Fallout in general, depending on who you play at, like how you play. Like, I see a lot of people when they play the controller use VATS a lot more, which I don't know. I'm of the opinion, like, play the game how you want, doesn't matter. So we did that. Yeah, it's just like there's no point to this thing. It's just like, yeah, you're a werewolf now. And it's like, okay, cool. And then you can turn into a werewolf. But I think every time I turn into a werewolf, I just get killed. I'm like, what is point of werewolf?
What is point?
It's the same thing when I was doing Skyrim and I let chat choose where I was going to go. They made me go down the vampire route. That one's super lame as well. I'm like, what is the point? And it's like, you become werewolf, no, you become vampire. This sucks. When can I unvampire? Oh, at the end. So, and also my mods bugged, not like my chat mods, but the mods I installed into Skyrim bugged out that whole that whole DLC. So like I had to like write in the code to like respawn a character that actually let me progress.
Oh, that's
yeah, it was great.
That's a roadblocker for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, I don't know, and it's just like when people talk about Skyrim and show off Skyrim, it's just they do all these different things, but it's just like, I don't know, it's they're right there in the beginning. You become a werewolf, and then it's just like, the whole thing's like, yeah, we don't like this anymore. But then it's like, you're the only one that will leave.
That's
like
willing to
will undo undo your werewolf powers. And when you do that, no one in that place will talk to you anymore. And they're like, traitor, how come you won't talk to, like, we don't talk to traitors. And then you have to like, fine, you go through, you do the whole ritual again, they'll talk to you, and then it's just like for you to do anything with them. So it's a constant, like, if you go down that werewolf thing and undo it, it's like constantly like, well, let me go turn on my werewolf abilities, give me some more blood. Okay, cool, well, now I'm done with this, let me go drink whatever else I gotta do. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just becomes an annoyance to the point where, like, and I'll also say there's just so much stuff in those Skyrim, well, in the Elder Scroll games where just something like that right in the beginning is very easy to, I believe, miss.
Gotcha. It is very open world.
Yeah, like, and I like I don't know why, like, I don't like the Elder Scroll games, but I love Fallout, and I'm like, I just think I like Fallout because it's science fiction and I have guns. Like, I think that's like
the setting for you.
Yeah, it's like, and that's literally the only difference. Like, play wise, they're pretty much the same game.
Yeah, I forget which one. I had heard that the modern Elder Scrolls take from one of Fallout 2 or 3. I want to say it's probably 3. And that the older older Elder Scroll games didn't fit in that same open world exploration kind of vibe that Elder Scrolls did. Or Skyrim did, sorry.
Yeah, you said Fallout, and I'm like, wait, what?
No, like new modern Elder Scrolls took from Fallout. Like new Fallout.
Yes. Okay. Now I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, that open world system and stuff like that. I didn't play a lot of either series. But yeah.
I played when I moved over to Mixer, that was my first thing I did. I played through every Fallout game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was great because I would constantly repeat, like, this is what I'm going to do. And then next we're going to do Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. And everyone's like, when are you going to do Fallout again? I'm like, guy,
done.
Weren't you listening? I played them all. I beat them. And they're like, well, what about it? And it's just like, and then, I don't know. I don't even, like, remember those people anymore.
No, but I do know some people like to see all the different paths that you can take in Fallout.
I have a hard time playing a game like this is how I know if I really like the game, if within a year I'll play it again.
Fair enough.
Which turns out it's like an indie game that I can beat in like 10 hours. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the companions. They're boring. Sorry if you guys like them, but I don't know, like better games, I guess.
Wow.
If I'm going to be controversial, I'm going to be full controversial.
You're going to go all in. It's fine. I'm sure me saying that I've never played, like I haven't played much of either series probably also doesn't help my case.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All right.
If you guys want us to talk more about them, find us somebody that knows a lot about it and does some sort of stream or video on it. We'll ask them to come on the podcast and defend this bad game.
All right, so
I'm going to regret that later.
Maybe we get lectured at. So my least favorite depiction of werewolves I've seen is in the music video by the Backstreet Boys, Everybody, parentheses, Backstreet's Back, end parentheses. So the premise of this video, I wrote a joking note saying maybe I can try and use this music video every week in the same way, like you said, you expected me to mention Monster Prom. In theory, I think I could mention this music video and Monster Prom almost every week through this month. But for me, like, the premise of the music video, I guess, is that they're resurrecting as a band, but they chose to make everyone different Halloween monsters. And then for the Halloween monsters, one of them is just a werewolf, but they kind of do the thing where they're just in that in-between werewolf thing where they're like, well, he's still got to look like the singer, so we're not going to put him in a whole bunch of werewolf makeup, but if we don't put him in any makeup, he'll just look like the singer. So it's like that weird halfway, like, I would have been fine with it if they decided to try and keep him to look like the singer and just go, oh, okay, we'll just spike up your hair and give you fangs. But they, like, give him a really weird beard and, like, mutton chops, and then they put him in a fur coat and give him long fingernails. So it's that, like, you should have either gone full werewolf or full lead singer. Like, don't do this weird in-between uncomfortable thing. And, like, the costume also
I just looked it up.
Yeah, it's just really uncomfortable, right?
Well, he looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, like, it's It's a very awkward in between, and it makes me ask myself, who thought this was a good idea? A lot of the other monsters in it are also fairly cheesy. I don't know if all of them are covered in the music video that I can use them every week, but I kind of would love to just do the description of it. But looking at him, right, he's just got spiky hair, weird beard, long fingernails, long teeth, and an absurd fur coat.
Yeah.
It doesn't really it kind of reads werewolf, but also just doesn't.
This man, I want this to be my new background, but I have a new background.
Is it the one that came up in my Discord?
You'll just have to find out on Tuesday, I guess. Oh man. Oh, I scrolled down too far. I found Jason Momoa.
Is that related to this Backstreet's Back
I don't know.
music
That's
video?
when I looked up Backstreet Boys werewolf. When I scroll down a little bit more, there's okay. I don't want to take your content away for this, though. I'm like, I thought I saw another one. I'm like, you know what? Let's leave that. Okay, what's this Jason Momoa thing here for? Okay, there's no reason.
Oh, I forgot that they also give them really pointy ears. So let me see if I can send this GIF to you, DPayne, so you get an idea of just like the movement's awkward. It just doesn't. This poor guy. I just really want to know who in the costuming department was like, yes, 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 yes.
Me. It was me.
It was you. You wanted to create this content?
When he's like holding it, like, ooh. Like,
yeah,
I don't know actually know the song, but it's just like
it's very boy bandish. It's very like poppy. Like I'm sure you could use doing that is probably just about what he sounds like.
Oh man, I want a stream alert with
this. I see this article that has that GIF is introducing the most pimped out werewolf ever. It's so weird.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the rich villain for the Big Wolf on Campus.
Yeah, he could. And I don't even know if they do anything to even show you how, why, or what happened to him. And you can tell he's probably seen enough stuff, like for generic werewolf stuff. He acts like a werewolf. He does the howling. He tries to bare his teeth, but it's just I don't think it works.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at this GIF you sent me. Like mine, there's like just a whole bunch of GIFs underneath that I'm just clicking and looking. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that was the end, which is like, I guess that's a howl.
I guess it's a howl. Yeah, I'd assume it's a howl, but I don't know if audio-wise it's an actual howl. But
like with no audio, it's just like he looks like he looks like he's just either constipated or sat on something uncomfortable. Like I don't know. It's just
it hurts.
Yes. What's this one?
But you see where I think this is kind of like the lamest interpretation of a werewolf. Like it just doesn't.
Oh, he's doing flips now.
Yeah, as boy banders do.
Well, I saw what could possibly show up for the last week because it's also part of this GIF.
Yes. So for anyone that wants a treat and wants to laugh at something that is so out of date.
Why are my links so big?
Yeah, but I would say that this is a very fun music video for this season that did not age very well, but would be fun to watch. A lot of Backstreet Boys in weird, like they're not cheap Hollywood costume or Halloween costumes, but they're not good Halloween costumes.
Yeah. So I never was into the boy band scene, but which one's, because I've heard NSYNC and Backstreet Boys back and forth. Which was the big one?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if there was one that was slightly more popular than the other one.
I think it was that
or it's just like you like the hot ones on this one more than the other one.
I think it was that whole you probably liked one of the two more than one of them more than the other, but I think that both were pretty famous. One of them is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the catchiest song. I don't remember which one of the two groups it is. I want to say it's Backstreet Boys.
Okay, my brain put this into pretty much. I realized what today's context would be. It's very much how America looks at K-pop. I guess like they're like, I like this hot one over here, and it's just like, okay.
I mean, there are still boy bands or equivalent to boy bands in
In
different things.
Korea.
Well, no, but even in the U.S. for a while, like only a few years ago,
Oh
we
yeah,
had One Direction.
One
And
Direction.
yeah, there's
I
still a
forgot
thing.
about them.
It's not just and then there was another group, but I think they only had like one or two
I
hits.
used to sing the only song I knew of them to my friends to make them feel awkward because I thought it was hilarious. It was the "You Don't Know You're Beautiful," and so like we would go bowling, and right before they let go of the ball, I would sing the lyric to them very loudly.
Beautiful.
That's the kind of friend I am. Awkward. So, yeah. I realized the only other boy band I know at that time is Dream Street, and the only reason I know of them is because I was watching the Macy's Day Parade, and it was like, we got Dream Street here, cool, and they're like, yeah, man, we're here to show off our new album, and then I literally heard nothing from them since. Like, I don't know what they did, but I remember there was just so much like promotion for their album, and everyone's like, yeah, this is super cool, like, and that's all they ever. I don't even know if they have a song. I don't
not
even
name
know
the song.
Yeah, no, like I couldn't even name the album. I just know the name Dream Street.
I remember the name. I don't know that they ever like made it.
Yeah, their production company got them really, like, a lot of people were like, okay, here we go. We're gonna promote our boys. We're gonna do it all on the Macy's Day Parade. And then that was end of thought.
well, they'll take it from here. Never mind.
They didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know you probably thought I was going to mention Thriller in this, but nope. This Werewolf, I think, is more memorable to me because I look at it and go, oh no.
I forgot there was a werewolf in Thriller.
It's Michael Jackson, sir.
Yes, but I don't watch music videos.
I also felt like I already had mentioned that one because we talked about 80s music videos.
The only reason I was thinking of Thriller was because when I was looking up worst werewolves, because as I said, I had a hard time finding this, that was like the worst werewolf is in Thriller. It was like one of them, like, whatever. I don't really have a say one way or the other.
I thought it was Michael Jackson that was the werewolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like as you mentioned, I remember him howling.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, everyone that wasn't a keyboard, that was my knuckle.
So what is your least favorite?
So, when you think of a werewolf, what comes to mind? As we reach the end, this would have probably worked a lot better if this was in this beginning. But guess what? We're at the end, so...
Fur, teeth, wolf-like, dog-like.
Okay, you know what also has fur, teeth, and is more animal-like? That's right, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Are you saying he's a werewolf?
There's a game called Sonic Unleashed where he gets werewolf powers.
Oh, no.
And it's so bad. And okay, so here's question number 2. How would you describe Sonic? And not the one that's on my background.
He's already an animal. He's a hedgehog. Yes. But stands up.
But Sonic fast.
Fast and blue and likes rings.
Yes.
And wears sneakers.
So pretty much, according to the wiki, because I did watch some gameplay of this and I refused to play it, but at the same time I refused to play Sonic 06, and we have played that on my channel. Pretty much Dr. Eggman blows up something. I forget what it is. He blows up something, and then Dark Gaia, the literal name, an ancient evil. It was so ancient they didn't have good writers for names. Comes out and then pretty much makes Sonic a werehog.
Werehog.
Yes, to where he gets the power of Dark Gaia, and he's just a jacked Sonic the Hedgehog, and loses his gloves and has claws, and gets more fur.
More fur.
Yeah, more fur. And so pretty much, like, from what I remember of watching this, there's the concept of the game is cool, but execution is terrible from what I've saw. So you do levels twice, and they're on day and night cycles. In the daytime, you're Sonic, and it's like your traditional Sonic level. You run through, collect not coins, your rings, and you're trying to get through there as fast as possible. However, you can go through the same level at night, which is there's a different take on it, and you turn into werewolf Sonic, and you lose all of your speed, and it becomes like a hack and slasher, but with your fists. I don't know what that would be, how that would be translated. A punch and stuff.
Punch and slash.
Punch and slash.
So I'm looking at pictures of it, and I find it hilarious that in some renderings, it looks like his sneakers turn into cleats.
Yeah, like everything, like his whole thing changes.
Everything gets pointier.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, it looks like he got cleats. But yeah, it's like from what I heard people say, is just like it's not great Sonic's level, but I think they learned a lot from probably Sonic 06, because this came out afterwards, if I'm remembering correctly, to where they're like, okay, give Sonic a lane and just have him dodge things rather than a whole world to like traverse and everything, because it doesn't go well. And it's just, so they did that, and it was like people were like, this is fun, but then it's like, okay, let's turn this to an action platformer with when at the night levels, which could work, but they didn't, because it's like, man, could you imagine Sonic being like super, like when he was in his werewolf form, just being like still have the speed of Sonic but also be super strong? Like even if he wasn't like as fast as Sonic, he was still
he would
like,
is he bulked down with all the extra fur?
Pretty much. And like, well, he also gets like his arms get bigger. I'm looking at the picture, and it's like it looks like his legs don't get bigger, but like he gains muscle mass, and so he slows down. But it's just, I don't know a lot about I found the plot section on the wiki. Let's see. Oh, he shoots a ray of the Chaos Emeralds, and then it drains them, which makes Sonic be able to turn into a werewolf.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and the whole point is he has to go help this entity named Chip regain his memory, and he's anti-Dark Gaia, so I guess Light Gaia. Oh, yeah, literally. It says that 2 seconds later. Like, literally one word after I've read Dark Gaia. And yeah, so that's the whole point of the game. Help Light Gaia regain his memory so he can fight off Dark Gaia, and bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, if the whole concept of a game makes you not want to even touch it,
there's a problem.
Yeah.
There's a problem there. Yes, I agree.
And I still think werewolves in general are things that could be done really cool and stuff, and I still think they would be a really cool threat to face, as we shared on the vampire and werewolf thing. Like I wish they made like a 30 days of dark, or whatever the Alaska vampire movie is. But they did something like that, but with werewolves, where it's just like
all moonlight, or 30 days of a full moon.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how it would work. Like, you would need, I don't know. It would have to be something, like, because it seems like it goes back and forth where, like, oh no, they can transform sometimes, and sometimes they can't. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's on a moon cycle.
That's true. As long as it's not the new moon, then.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I guess the moon would still have his phases, even if it was like the 30 days of night. Yeah, I don't know how it works, and
depends who you ask.
Yes.
That's the problem with a lot of this lore. It depends who you ask. I've seen some say that they can transform at any phase of the moon except the new moon, but they get stronger towards the full moon. Others say that it's only the full moon.
Yeah, that's how Wolf Guy does it. Like, he gets strong. Like, he's definitely stronger at the full moon.
Some say that it's only at the full moon. Some say it's just any moonlight is enough.
Yeah, there's a podcast I listen to where they're playing D&D, and they make a sword that is able to replicate the power of a full moon, so that way he can use his werewolf abilities whenever.
Ah, sneaky.
Yeah. Too bad they're really bad at D&D. Yeah, so I guess for anyone that is joining now, and I feel like we'll have to say this probably, this is the whole point of this podcast. It's like whatever we bring up, we don't really hate on the whatever subject we're talking about. It's just there are really good examples and really bad examples of things that we like in pretty much any subject.
Yeah.
So it's just, it was really easy to not like werewolves in this because, like, besides our consensus that everyone should watch What We Do in the Shadows, oh man, we should have a movie night, a Pointless Discourse movie night.
If it's on Prime.
You
don't have to look that up now.
I'm gonna look it up now because I'll forget.
Oh. Well, because
we'll look it up after the podcast because we got to do a quiz.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you still wanted to do one. We're about
let's
an
do
hour and
one.
a half. Okay, so I found 2 quizzes for us. One is what breed of werewolf are you, or what is your werewolf name?
Wait, werewolves have names? Well, like I know they have names, but it's... Well, now these both intrigue me.
Yeah, right. They're both like really weird.
Oh wait, how much time did you say we had?
We're probably about an hour and a half now.
Okay, we've definitely blasted that time out of the wazoo, so we could easily do both.
If you want to. I didn't know if you wanted to try and stay under the 2 hours.
Well, this one, the werewolf name says it's a 5-minute quiz.
It says it. Okay. We'll try. We'll try.
It says that, and then this one doesn't have a time. But Play Buzz, I don't think they...
This one, the Play Buzz has 10 questions.
10 questions. Okay, yeah, let's do the name one first. Oh, man, but should we do them, find out what breed we are, and then we can find out our name?
Okay. We'll do it in that order, so we have our full werewolf persona.
Yes. We need to find out what breed we are before we learn our name.
Yeah. Okay. So, do I...
Hold on, we wrote this down so we wouldn't forget.
Oh, yeah. Is it loser goes first?
Loser rolls for topics. That doesn't help us. Oh, wait, winner... Oh, yeah, no, winner reads topic first.
Oh, yeah, because you talk last.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get this down one day, eventually. Okay. So, first question is, how do you like your meat cooked? Medium well, medium rare, I like a little red in the middle. Rare, I like it bloody. I'm a vegan, frowny face, or I don't like meat.
Why do they have the vegan as a frowny face?
I don't know.
I'm not, but it's just like...
Or is it like, don't talk to me about meat, I'm vegan.
Oh, yeah, I guess that could be it, too.
I guess medium rare for me. Because I always worry that medium well will show up well done.
Oh, we forgot. We got to share the quiz in chat. We haven't... Oh, I pasted. Do you have the quiz link?
Yes. Sorry about that. So anyone participating in the audience with us live, feel free to have it there. For anyone that is listening to it in audio format, it'll be in the description. It's been so long since we've done a quiz. Apologies.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyone chat when you guys finish, or if you're going to take it, let us know what you got. This also is bringing me back to a moment when I was at Red Robin. They're like, how do you want your meat cooked? Or like, how do you like your meat? And my answer was cooked. And my dad was like, did you really just answer that? Like, are you memeing? And then they're all like, oh, that was his real answer. I like medium well. Hey, what is your favorite? Oh my goodness, this is going to be one of the ones where our answers are pretty much the same. What is your favorite time of day? I don't have a favorite time of day, is answer 1. Number 2, morning. Lies. 3, dusk. It is almost dark. 4, midnight. I like when it dark. Well, I didn't know Twitch chat made this answer. And last answer, middle of the day.
Dusk. It almost dark.
Yeah. Because when it's midnight, it's like, I made a mistake.
Oh, I'm always up late. But
oh, yes. Oh, same here. But it's like, That's why mornings was not an option I chose.
So next question. What is your eye color or the eye color you wished you had? First option is white. Second is other.
What?
Third.
I also like how. Okay, hold on. Finish this, and I'll
Okay.
say.
Third is brown. Fourth is green, and fifth is blue.
So I like how in other they still have all the options that they wrote in other because it says
Well,
blue.
no. So, well, yeah, that one's blue, but then
Blue.
they claim there's a blue gold, and then a
It's
blue green.
The blue gold is a little bit kind of what my natural eye color is. I don't know.
There's hazel.
I have a selfie option on this phone. Let's see.
Green brown. I don't know.
I have glasses in my way.
I'm just gonna say the color that I do have because
Actually, they're going gray. Sorry, but
I was just gonna go with the color option of what I do have because I want to know what kind of breed of werewolf I am, not what I wish I had. Wish I am.
Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do as well. I have blue eyes, but if I had to choose the color that I wish I had, I really like green.
That's fair.
Anyway, where would you live? Oh man, I have these weird pictures. At least some of the pictures actually are described underneath a little bit better than how they normally are. So option 1, country, which looks more rural.
Yeah.
That's a very fancy house though. Neighborhood. Did I say the name? Okay, guys, the question is, I don't remember if I actually said it.
You did.
Where would you live? I'll say it again. Third option, creepy cabin in the woods. Oh man, I want to watch Cabin in the Woods again. You just watched that, didn't you?
I did.
Wait, what's the difference between? Oh, I guess the fourth, House in the Woods. It's a step above Creepy Cabin. And last one, City.
Where would I live?
You know what? The way it's going, City could become Creepy Cabins because everyone's leaving them, from what I heard.
Yes, I'll go. But the country doesn't look very country to me. It just looks like.
It still looks like a house in the burbs.
Yeah, it's just less houses around them. I guess I'll technically say country. Oh, this is unfortunate. I'm really hungry. The next question.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I want. I'll choose country as well.
Okay. Yes. Next question. Which would you eat? A salad, a whole rotisserie chicken, a burger, raw steak, or a medium rare steak? Right now I want a burger. Maybe that's what I'll order.
Yeah, that's all that looks appetizing on this list to me right now. I'm not a big steak guy. I choose burger.
I do like
burger as well.
I do like steaks, but it depends who makes them.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm the weird one out of my family where all of them love steak, and I'm like, eh. I'd rather have ravioli.
Oh, I have leftover pasta. That's what I'll eat.
Nice. I'm gonna have breakfast for dinner today.
Nice.
Okay. Someone breaks into your house. What do you do? Call 911! Exclamation! 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 Fight him. This is my territory. Sneak attack him and knock him out. Make trap. Guy, it's too late for that one. Run and hide.
I think my honest answer is either call 911 or run and hide, but I'll go with call 911.
How come there's not the option stinking yell? Like, what are you doing?
Shout for help? Oh, no, shout at him.
Yes. Because, hey, I watched a movie, like, this was back when I lived at like my parents' house when I was younger. We watched the movie The Uninvited. No, not The Uninvited. It's the one where they go to this cabin in the woods and people like start messing with them. It was based off like a true story.
Oh yeah. It's the people with like masks or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like the movie didn't scare me, but when I got home, it was like eerily quiet. Like there was no bug noises, there was no cars, and like my parents' house was in the suburbs, so there was like always noises, and it was like eerily quiet for like super long. So I got home, took a shower, and like I was sitting in bed like looking at something on my phone, I think, and then like I thought I heard creaking, like someone walking around, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it's like the rest of my family was asleep. I'm like, what is? And it had to be like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, to where my response was like I got out of bed, grabbed the hockey stick that was sitting. No, I had this big long like wooden stick that was in my room, and I was like, okay, if anyone's out here, you better get out, because if you come back here, I'm beating you with the stick. I'm going back to bed now. And I went back to bed, and the creaking stopped. And like it was the next day, like I told my mom, and she's like, I don't remember you saying that, but it might have been me because I got up to go to the bathroom.
Oh
And so she's like, well, I got to make sure I'm not going to walk around when DPayne goes. And so, um, okay, I guess the fight, and this is my territory after that one story, is the
yeah,
one
that sounds about right. Because you technically were ready for combat. You just yelled first to
Yes.
say, I won't fight you if I don't have to.
Yeah, it's your way. Who read that last? You?
I did.
Okay. That's probably gonna be where our biggest difference
Or
is
actually,
gonna
no,
be.
no, no. You did, because I read the food one right before, right?
Oh yeah, I said exclamation point, exclamation,
Yes.
exclamation point.
Okay,
Yes.
so next question. You and your friend are fighting. What do? Give up? Leave? I don't have time for this. Don't stand down. You're the alpha. Make fun of her or him. Or stand down. There's no need to fight. I'm probably the last one, because I don't like confrontation if I don't have to.
I am totally gonna make fun of him or Like, all we had to do is look how we play Among Us.
That's fair.
If you were a werewolf, would you want to be on 2 legs or 4? And this is pretty much what it is: 2-legged, 4-legged, or human.
I like that option.
Yeah,
I'm human.
Yeah, it's me.
I guess if I had the choice, I'd prefer to be on 4, because I feel like the speed you get with 4 legs is much more than you would get with 2.
I like the. I hope that ends up on mic. What about? So like, okay, this is what my overthinking is. Like, are they asking what form I would want to be in most of the time?
I guess, yeah. What kind of werewolf form would you prefer?
Because I think I would just like to be the human one, but at the same time, I like the 2-legged one.
The art for it is pretty like intense.
Yeah, except I wouldn't want my knees doing that. You get 2 sets of knees. I think I would want to be the human one because every human version of a werewolf has abs.
That's fair.
I chose human.
Okay, next
I
question.
also don't want to be a dog.
Someone getting bullied, what do you do? Stand up to the bully, this is my territory. Stand and watch for my own entertainment. Fight them, I'm the alpha around here. Laugh, I am the bully. Get the teacher. I would get the teacher. Would you laugh? Because
yeah. I would laugh. But it's just like, who is this someone? Is it somebody random? Is it someone that deserves?
It just says someone.
Is it someone that I know? Because my responses would be very different, but none of them would be to get the teacher. I would have to go with laugh. Oh, man.
Good luck on this question.
Okay. I always get these ones. It says choose an image. Okay, so their image 1 is a wolf that looks like he's just super bulked up and just is like getting ready to attack, and super furry and super cool looking. Second one is a werewolf with big legs, 2 knees, and is on top of a cliff. It's a little bit dark, and he's like, "This is my forest." Third one, pretty much looks like 90s Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just Google that image if you want to know. Fourth image is another werewolf, kind of like the second one. It's in his little halfy form, except he has longer arms. Longer arms and looks more like a knuckle dragger. But he doesn't have a cool like scene behind him. Actually, in this second image, it looks like the ending for Life is Strange one.
Oh, with the background.
Yeah, Arcadia Bay is gonna be pooped. And the last one is our little Clay. I'm human with his arms like hello.
Out of these, I'm inclined to pick the actual wolf picture.
I don't want any of them. I guess it would be the human one, just like hello. I don't want 2 or 4, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if I had to choose one, the first one I'm like that I had like any kind of responses was the clay boy.
The little human.
Yeah, so I'll choose the clay boy. Watch, it's gonna tell me you're not a werewolf.
The one it told me is that I'm an Asian werewolf, and I did not know, or I don't know the differences between werewolves from different continents.
Me neither, but I got a North American werewolf.
I think I basically gave it to me because I picked 4-legged and looks most like a wolf when transformed. I'm not reading this whole paragraph.
Yeah, mine pretty much is I have reddish brown fur. But yeah, I'm upright.
Okay.
Okay, so now we know what... Oh no, this is kind of funny. Just knowing... All right, well, guys, we get to learn our names now.
Yes, our werewolf names, now that we know what type of werewolf we are. So
yes.
I'll say that you can start this one off since...
I'll admit, I wasn't expecting it to... Oh, wait, I have this one copied.
Oh, that's the one you have copied. Okay.
Well, I accidentally... What I did with the last one was paste it... I paste the link to one of the gifts you sent me.
Oh.
Or I sent you. Okay. So first question to learn our werewolf name. Werewolves have many types of abilities, but what would your best superpower be? Super hearing, super healing abilities, super sight, super speed.
I think I would prefer the healing abilities.
Yeah. Super healing is always my go-to superpower.
Okay, so if you were...
Super sight would be nice, though, with my stupid nearsighted glasses.
I was going to say, I thought about super sight, but I don't want to see things I'm not meant to see. I feel like there's a lot of, like, spy movies where you're like, you witnessed something, and now we must hunt you down. Witness protection program.
It wasn't me.
So, next question. If you were a werewolf, would you want to interact with other human beings? Option 1, sure, why not? 2, only if they are nice people. 3, no, you can't trust anybody. Or 4, it depends on the situation.
This could also read, if you were a human.
Yeah, would you want to interact with other humans? It depends.
Goodness, we're going to get the same name.
At least our last one was different.
Yes. Yeah, it depends. Which of these werewolf movies would you like to watch on a Friday night? The Wolfman, Red Riding Hood, that's a movie? Okay. Underworld Awakening, or Van Helsing?
I love the cheesiness of both Underworld and Van Helsing. Well, depending on which Van Helsing they mean, but I assume they mean the...
I forget his name. Hugh...
Jackman.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Van Helsing on this one.
I haven't watched any of these. I saw the end of Van Helsing, so I'll choose that.
Exact same. Do you feel protective of your loved ones, or do you prefer to live a life of solitude? I'm protective of others, but I try not to show it. I prefer to live a life of solitude. I'm both of these things, or I'm extremely protective of everyone that I care about. I think I'm the first one.
I think I'm the both.
You can be both. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely both because I do live alone, but at the same time, like, I go and check up on people and make sure they're okay. Oh, yeah, that's my question. You're now able to... Why do we want to change our eye color so much?
I didn't know that was a... Is that a werewolf thing? Like, when you transform into your wolf, you, like, have different eyes?
I don't know. Yeah, okay. Anyone in chat or anyone that is listening to this later and made it this far, thank you. But second, is there a thing about eye color? I I'm gonna look this up after the podcast
Okay.
finishes. You're now able to change your current eye color to one of these amazing werewolf eye colors. Which one would you choose? Golden, green, red, black. Well, you can't be red because that automatically means you're an enemy.
Not always. Not an anime.
An enemy.
I think I like the idea of golden eyes.
That's what I was thinking too. But I also like green. But golden is so much more intimidating than green. I chose golden.
Both?
Golden.
Grodin? Would you describe yourself as more of a day or a night person? Night. Depends on my mood. Day or both.
We didn't have to read the rest. We already know our answers.
Yes, night people.
That's why this podcast is in the afternoon when we wake up. Is it possible that you might be a werewolf without realizing it? I think I would know about this. Sure, it's possible. No, this isn't possible at all. I guess only time will tell.
I might be a werewolf without realizing it. Does this mean that, like, there's a point in my life where someone bit me and I never, like, dealt with it in the hospital, so I could possibly be?
How would a hospital deal with that? I might be werewolf. Yeah, cool, whatever. Here's some triple antibiotic ointment.
Like if a hospital was like, oh, this is a human bite, or like, oh, this is a dog bite, or oh, this is a cat bite.
This sounds like this would be an episode of House.
I just mean the hospital would be able to tell me if. Plus, it has to break skin, right?
Yeah.
So if it doesn't even break skin and I go to the hospital, they're like, yeah, nothing got through.
Wait, is that how you become werewolf? You gotta get bit?
I'm pretty sure it's a bit.
Why are all these monsters bit?
Why are they all bit?
Why are they all bit?
I think it's bit. I think it depends on the lore.
In Skyrim, you gotta drink the blood.
Skyrim, you drink everything.
Yeah, even cheese. But there's also like a medical condition of lycanthropy.
The one with just the extra hair growth, or is there something else? Oh, okay.
I think if it's that.
Where the circuses would say you were a werewolf, but you just had excess body hair growth.
Yeah. You were warm. I'm gonna choose, I guess only time will tell. Like,
I think I would know about this.
It's like, I don't know.
Are you the type of person who becomes easily angry with other people? I try to control my temper as best as I can. No, not at all. Yes, and it's hard for me to control my temper, or it depends on who is making me mad. I'd say it depends on who is making me mad.
Are we playing Among Us now? That's. Oh, okay. No, the not at all is the person that. Wait, yeah. Okay, I have to read this question because I'm getting confused. Are you the type of person who becomes easily angry? Okay, I would say no, not at all. Not at other people. I get mad at inanimate objects. How do you feel when you look at the moon at night? Sleepy, calm, angry, indifferent. This has been longer than 5 minutes. They lied to us.
We already knew it was going to be longer than 5 minutes for us.
They lied. Angry.
Calm for me. Oh, this scroll bar is long.
Oh my gosh. How fast are people? Oh my gosh. Okay. We got to pick it up. Indifferent.
Okay. Who is this, me or you now? I've lost.
It's you.
If you were lost in a new city by yourself, would you be able to find your way back home? No, I would need help. I would ask someone for directions. If I had a compass or a map, then yes, or without a doubt. No, I would need help.
Who brings a compass and map to a city? It's called a GPS. And no, I would need help. It's called Google Maps. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how high are your emotional response levels towards other people?
1 to 3.
Yeah. Wait, what's 10's being the highest? Yeah. 1 to 3. That's your 5 coming out.
People. When something troubles you in life, do you prefer to solve such a problem on your own? I try to, but I don't mind asking for help either. No, it's always better to ask for help, of course, or it depends on the problem. It depends on the problem. If I can Google it, I'm not going to ask someone for help.
Of course. Okay, let's say that you are lost in the wilderness when a white wolf crosses your path. What are you going to do now? Run away. I'll try to talk to the wolf. I'll fight the wolf if necessary. I'll slowly walk in another direction.
Slowly walk in another direction. I don't want it to think we're playing tag.
You're not gonna try like, hey buddy, how you doing? But yeah, I'm gonna slowly walk in another direction. Kind of like what I do with people now that I don't want to really interact with. Like,
Just slowly disappear.
Yeah.
You now have the ability to talk to other wolves. What are you going to say to these creatures? What's it like being a wolf? Want to be my friend? Join me and we shall rule the world, or train me to be like you. What's it like to be a wolf?
Why would you ask them to train you? What a dumb question. It'd be cool to have a wolf friend. Want to be my friend? Just think of the content. Oh, yeah. Can you somehow predict events within the future that you're not able to explain? Only in my dreams. Yes, and I'm not sure why this is so. No, but that sounds awesome. I'm not really sure.
I don't think it sounds awesome because, like, I don't know. Future telling ain't for me. So I'm going to say I'm not really sure.
I guess it's the same as deja vu.
I guess it is technically the same thing as deja vu, but I hate the feeling of deja vu.
I have it more than a lot. Like, I have it happen a bunch, but it's like, it's very weird.
Okay, actually, I'll take that back. The times I have had it is in my dreams. Like, I'll have a weird dream of being in the store or being in class, and something very similar will happen, and then I get that heebie-jeebies from deja vu vibe.
And I won't. If it's deja vu, I do have the deja vu stuff happen. Not regularly, but I don't know. Whatever's like a step below regularly. So I'll just say sure, and I'm not sure why. I have superpowers. They're really lame. It just shows me doing the same thing.
Who's reading this one?
Oh,
because I don't even have them numbered.
I read the last one.
Okay.
Because you read the wolf friend.
Wolf friend. As a werewolf, which of these types of terrains would you like to live in? A forest, on a mountain, in a canyon, or near a swamp? I wouldn't want to live near a swamp.
It's wrecking my swamp.
I pick on a mountain. No one could bother me.
Oh, hell, you can make snowmen on a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to live in a forest, but I'm super allergic to poison ivy, and I know poison ivy lives in a forest.
But maybe not when you're a werewolf.
Or I'm in upstate New York, because it doesn't grow up there. But I also like mountains, and if I remember one thing from Heidi, mountain air cures everything. So I chose on a mountain. Okay. Now you're a werewolf. What are you going to hunt at night? Vegetable? Why would you have to hunt that at night? What a dumb answer. I wouldn't hunt anything. Other wolves. Other animals.
I think it's funny to try and become a vegetarian werewolf. Also, the option for animals is probably rabbits, and I don't want to have to eat rabbits.
Could be...
Deer are also adorable.
I don't... The other thing for other animals that popped in my head was humans.
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. According to ancient history, though, human meat is very salty. I don't know. I'm like super lazy. Would I actually want to hunt anything? I don't know. I'll just choose other animals. Okay. I don't really have a strong
inclination?
Yeah, I don't have a real strong strive for any of those answers. Why did we come here?
We didn't know. Which of these Elder Scrolls abilities would you acquire to defend yourself from enemies? Piercing Howl, Claws of Life, Ferocious Roar, or Feral Pounce? I don't know what any of these are.
Me neither.
I'll pick one based on name. Cool Howl.
I'm choosing Claws of Life because that sounds like an auto heal. Oh, indoors versus outdoors. Where do you... Goodness. Where do you like to spend most of your time?
We don't have to read these because indoors.
Yeah, if it's indoors.
Which of the following correlates with the current dreams you've been having? I don't really remember my dreams. Dreams about being happy, dreams about feeling lost, or dreams about transformation.
I don't really have dreams.
I have been having dreams lately, but I wouldn't say they make me feel happy or lost or transformed. But out of the three, feeling lost seems like the most neutral, so I'll pick feeling lost.
I found out that if I sleep a certain way, I activate nightmare part of my brain until I kept doing it, and then I
Undid it.
Yeah. So now I'm back to neutral void for like half a second, and then I wake up. Okay. If you were gonna go to battle against an enemy, would you rather be on the offense or defense? Pretty much all of these answers is exactly what the question said, except I would only fight if I had no other choice.
I would only fight if I had no other choice.
Okay, there's also neither. Like, what is neither?
Just no fight. Just lay down on ground.
True. Probably defensive.
Okay. Which two words from this list match your inner personality? Content and open-minded, wise and calm, strong and brave, or confident and adventurous? Guess I would go content and open-minded.
Inner personality, what do you think? I don't know. I'll use the confident and adventurous.
This quiz is so long. Are you the type of person who is a natural born leader, or is this something you feel... Oh, wait, no. Did I read the last one? I did. You read this one.
I was just like, well, she wants to read it. Are you the type of person who is a natural born leader, or is this something that you feel shy about? I'm not a leader at all. I don't try to be a leader, but I definitely voice my opinion. It depends on the situation. I'm definitely a leader.
I don't try to be one, but
I'm definitely a leader. I don't try. It just happens.
One of these wishes is your greatest wish in life, but which one is it? That's so weirdly phrased. All right, your greatest wish in life. I wish I were more beautiful. I wish I were more intelligent. I wish I were stronger. I wish I were happier. Well, this is deeper than I was expecting to go just to get my werewolf name.
Yeah, this whole quiz was a lot deeper. I think they lied about this 5-minute
There's
quiz.
no way someone finished this in 5 minutes. I'm gonna say I guess I wish I were happier. Thanks, 2020.
I don't know. Beautiful would just be funny. Like, is it my translation of beautiful? I don't know. I don't really wish that anyway. I don't wish for any of these. I'll just do stronger. At least I can do something with that.
That's fair.
Uh-oh. A vampire wants to be your new ally. Why is that an uh-oh? How do you feel about this? Happy, cautious, annoyed, indifferent. Well, the way I just read this question kind of gave my answer. Indifferent.
I guess I would be cautious based on everything from media.
Look, if we roll back and think of how the vampire werewolf quizzes that we did, we found out that Hop is a vampire and I'm a werewolf. And we're allies.
Would you ever tell your loved ones about your secret werewolf status? Sure, why hide this from them? No, it's best not to tell them. I would only tell 1 or 2 people about this, or I'm not so sure. I'd probably only tell a few people. Not everybody needs to know.
I would tell everybody. Sure, why hide it?
I don't know.
This is why I'm not.
I watch a lot of shows where it's that whole you're different. We must capture you and study you and keep you in a cage.
Yes, but if I'm stronger than everyone, it ain't gonna work. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely be one of those superheroes that probably wouldn't hide anything about themselves. Like, look what I can do. Which of these types of climates would you thrive in the best? Tropical, polar, dry, temperate. What's temperate?
Like, I'd say like where we are, where you get the different seasons, but it's not an extreme. Like, it's not freezing. It's not melting. It's just. I could be slightly wrong, but I'd pick temperate.
Okay, I'll just pick polar. I like snow.
Okay. Are you someone who will stop at nothing to become successful in life? Yes, as long as I have some help along the way. Yes, but I also know when to quit. Nope, success doesn't matter to me. Or yes, I'd like to think so.
I just like the silence after. I'm like,
Oh, you asked me to look up temperate climate.
oh, I thought we were both like really thinking about this one.
Temperate is the temperature is typically above 26.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but below 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit in the coldest months. So yeah, it's not hot, but it's not cold.
But if I'm a giant fur child, it's like polar sounds pretty nice. I already sweat 3/4 of the year anyway.
I don't know. Success doesn't matter to me. Like it's wrong to say success doesn't matter to me, but I think the generic definition of success isn't what I aim for.
Yeah, like the way this question is worded and like the other answers, I'm like, well, no, if it happens, it happens. But it's just like it. There's also like I think for us is a little bit difficult because like we also measure. I think we look at the podcast, we look at our streams, we look at videos, and just like, okay, did this work? Did people like this? Was this like, is this a successful and a large thing? Not like, I don't know. I think the way we would probably judge success is different than how this question is asking.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think you probably just said and I reworded. Okay. Do you feel proud of who you are as a person, or is this something that you're still working on? I have nothing to feel proud of. There are still some things in life I need to work on. I'm definitely proud of myself. I'm somewhat proud of myself.
Yeah, there's still things I could work on.
I'm the best. Where's that one? I'm somewhat proud. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like somewhat proud is still kind of the one you clicked on as well. Is this the last one? Oh my gosh.
It might be the last question.
It is the last one because there's a fairy lady next.
Would you show mercy to someone who has sabotaged you in the past? Of course, what's the harm in that? I would forgive, but I would never forget. No, I don't show mercy to my enemies, or it depends on what they did. I'm usually the forgive, but not forget.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I would be as well. What the dump? How the heck am I supposed to...
Mine is Fridolf, which apparently means peaceful wolf.
I got Uzolf, which is I'm a warrior of all werewolves.
Oh, you fighting?
Yeah, which means that you wouldn't be afraid of an honorable fight.
So I am Fridolf, the caring, peaceful wolf who is of an Asian werewolf type that runs around on all fours.
And I'm Uzolf, a North American... They misspelled werewolf in this other one.
My grammar is really bad in my paragraph. That's why I didn't want to read it on that other quiz.
But yeah, I'm bipedal. I also have night vision.
You'll fight everyone.
Yeah, with my night vision.
But yeah. So yeah, if you're listening to this in an audio format, feel free to share your results for us so we can find your werewolf name and breed and we can all compare.
This is just also cracking me up because I'm just thinking of how the podcast went, and I'm just remembering the Skyrim comment was just like a better game. I'm like, yeah, I'm the fighting one. I don't know if honorable fight should be put in the parentheses of that, but oh well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for listening to another episode. I don't think we have any outgoing announcements other than just tune in next week where we will be talking about vampires.
Yeah.
For more Halloween theme.
Yeah, and once again, everyone, I guess the normal things. Yeah, if you if you say anything on Twitter about us, like how we had a couple weeks ago, yeah, well, this is how we would like to promote. It's just like if you could, like at Pointless Disco on Twitter, say something to us like, "Oh man, I really liked the fact when you guys talked about that wolf guy in the thing," and it's like, cool. And we'll like it and maybe comment, and then also we will definitely say it on the next podcast. But also another thing is since we are on iTunes now, which is like the big boy version of iTunes. What did I just say?
Apple Podcasts?
Podcast, yeah, it's the main one. Uh, like from what I've heard of a lot of podcasts, like if another natural way to grow is that reviews and reviews and the star things on there. So I don't know if you like us or if you don't like us, like give a review or whatever if you want. We can't force you, but we can definitely ask. Smile, because you guys can't see me smiling in audio form.
But yeah, always appreciate you guys tuning into another episode. Yeah.
Vampires next week. Bye-bye.